All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We'd like to welcome you to our stream. This is your host of the evening, DJ Just Jay with Just Dimes ENT. As you guys know, we advocate for children first here at the Soto Podcast. We're going to talk about that young man on my screen. This is a tragic story, one that could have been a really, really cool story and was developing into a very, very good story for this young man's life, and it was tragically cut down. His name is Jaylon McKenzie or Jaylen McKenzie. I think it's Jaylon McKenzie. And he actually made plans of going to the NFL. Now, in a lot of cases with some of these young kids, sometimes they just might have a dream of wanting to do that. But in his particular case, he was already getting national recognition. That's how good he was being only in the 8th grade. He was already getting national recognition. There were colleges looking for him. There were even NFL teams that even knew his name. And I got to tell you guys, that's incredible. It happens a lot in basketball. I don't know how often that happens in football. So for me, this is a unique story, okay? Again, he's 14 years old from Belleville, Illinois. And he was an 8th grader who already had college offers from the University of Missouri and the University of Illinois. Those are D1 schools. All right? Now, he was featured on the Future issue of Sports Illustrated in the November 2018 issue, along with 5 other teen sports stars. He wanted to be a pro star in California, playing either for the Los Angeles Rams or the Chargers. Now, those dreams were cut too short. And that's a picture of his mom. We're going to talk about her here in a moment. But those dreams sadly died Saturday when Jaylen was shot and killed at a party. Now, his mom's name is Sukeena Gunner, Sukeena Gunner. That's her name. So around 11:40 p.m. on a Saturday night, Illinois State Police said in a release, numerous law enforcement agencies responded to reports of a disturbance and shots fired at a large party in Venice near the Illinois-Missouri border. Now, I'm going to talk about this young man being in 8th grade and going to that party. So I'm going to preface this by saying this. In my opinion, guys, I want you to understand where I stand on this. I vividly remember what it was like to be in 8th grade. This kid was in a very, very unique position. The fact that he was so good that he was getting national recognition. Personally, I don't have a problem with him going to a party at that age. I'm going to say that again. So the parents of him, mom and dad, I don't have a problem with him attending a party. A party. All right? I just want everybody to know where I stand with that. I believe that kids should be allowed to try to grow up a little bit. And you never want your babies to be in danger or anything like that. But life in general is a dangerous thing. And partying and clubbing is a dangerous thing in itself. So you hope that your kid always returns home from a party. But let's go ahead and talk more about this. Now, Jaylen had been at a party when a fight broke out. That's what his mom said. He walked outside to leave the party. And that's the part that I want to stress about this. When the fight broke out, he walked out of the party and he was leaving. Did everybody catch that? He was in the process of leaving the party and he got hit with a stray bullet. He found out that some bull crap was going on. He's like, hey, I'm out. I'm about to leave. These thugs and criminals are shooting indiscriminately. And one of them hit him and it took his life. He and a 15-year-old girl were taken to a hospital where he ended up dying a short time later. And that's coming directly from the police. Now, the girl is also in critical condition. So she's not in a position right now that is conducive to her making it. She might not make it either. Now, East St. Louis School District 189, where Jaylen was a student, confirmed that some of its students were shot at the party Saturday night. Now, School District 189 has learned that a few of our students, and this is their posting, they learned that a few of our students were shot at a house party in Venice, Illinois at some point Saturday night. A statement came from the district. Few details are clear at this point, but we do know that our youth, family, and school staff have dealt with a number of tragedies and incidents of violence this year, which is not a good indication. That's not a good indication. We request space and time for them to appropriately grieve and come to terms with this latest impact of violence. Guys know that I talk about our communities and being so prevalent with violence. It's supposed to be a normal thing and all of that kind of stuff. And I want to say hi to everybody in the chat. I'm not ignoring anybody, but I do acknowledge you guys. I see y'all in there, and I appreciate you tagging me, and I'm definitely thankful to have you guys here tonight. But the fact that this is normal and this type of thing happens a lot is indicative of the type of communities we have that generally are produced by fatherless homes. All right? Gangs and all that kind of bull crap. The school to prison pipeline. A lot of this is spawned from simply not having leadership fathers in the households. Now, let's move on. His mom said Sunday that her family was usually traveling every weekend for some type of football-related activity. Because Jaylen played on a summer travel football team, he played basketball and ran track, he didn't usually attend parties, right? But May was slower, she said, so Jaylen had more free time. So his mom said Jaylen was with friends on Saturday night. They stopped by a party with not any intentions of staying long, she said. Again, I don't have a problem with that. I'm okay with the idea of that, not knowing that this was going to happen. They were there to pick up something from a friend, she said. But around midnight, she received a call from Jaylen's brother with the news. I just started screaming, she said. I just prayed and asked the Lord not to take my baby. The mom, again, Sakina Gunner, said that she and her family are having a hard time coming to terms with Jaylen's death. It's very hard, she said. It's like a bad dream, like I'm going to wake up in the morning and my baby is going to be smiling and ask me for something to eat like he always does. Jaylen was the youngest of 5 children. I'm going to read that part again. Jaylen was the youngest of 5 children. I personally want to know, because I did not read it in the article, hashtag, where's his father? Especially in this scenario, I know not a lot of time has passed at all. This is all very sudden. The family is dealing with a lot. His classmates are dealing with a lot. Everybody who had plans of trying to reach out to this young man, everybody's dealing with this. I get that. I totally understand. But it seems like this fits the narrative that this is probably a young man who might not have had a lot of interaction with his father. And it just seems that those type of environments usually produce violence around those type of kids, you know? And it's just sad. It really is. He was the youngest of 5 kids. The middle schooler always loved his football. His first word was ball, right? That's according to his mom. He just loved the ball. From the moment he was able to walk and catch, he wanted the ball, she said. At age 3, Jaylen was already getting up on Saturday mornings and dressing like he was going to a game. At age 5, he started playing tackle football, his mother said. You could see the talent at age 5, but at age 6, it was like, wow, where did this come from? And each year, he got better and better. When he first started playing, Jaylen wore the number 3 on his jersey, but then he changed to the number 6 when he was 8 years old because he idolized a man which you guys might know by the name of DeAnthony Thomas, who played for Oregon and is now a receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, Jaylen was also a fan of Tavon Austin and Odell Beckham Jr., his mom said. Now, he just loved to watch them and perfect his craft, Gunner said. But there was more to Jaylen outside of football and sports, his mom said. Jaylen was big on fashion and loved to dress. And he loves sneakers, video games, shopping, and hanging out with his quote-unquote select group of friends. So he probably had a tight circle, which makes sense, right? Now, Gunnar said her son had a beautiful smile and was soft-spoken. He wasn't a man of many words, she said. He had a humbling personality. He wasn't very outgoing, but everybody knew him and loved him. This is coming from Illinois Representative LaToya Greenwood, and she posted on Facebook about him. And she said, there is a sacredness in tears. There are not the mark of weakness, but of power. They speak more eloquently than 10,000 tongues. They are the messengers of overwhelming grief, of deep contrition, and of unspeakable love. Hashtag Jaylon McKenzie. Right? Former NFL wide receiver Earl Bennett also tweeted his condolences. My heart and prayers go out to Jaylen McKenzie, family and friends. In the Bible, Matthew 5:4, he wrote. The scripture he cited reads, "Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted." And this is just a ridiculously sad story. I will leave my commentary about this story at the end. Let me go ahead and give you guys the fair usage, and let me show the little bit that was actually in the news, because this is still relatively brand new, okay? Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. Thank you, Chorus 15. If you guys would, please do me a favor while you guys are here. Do me a favor and hit the thumbs up. It'll share our stream and let other people know that we're live. So if you guys would, if I can get everybody in the chat to hit the thumbs up, that would help me out quite a bit. You might not realize how much it helps, but it actually helps quite a bit. So just click it, click it, click it. Thank you.
A 14-year-old football star from downstate Illinois already had college scholarship offers from Missouri and the Fighting Illini. This morning, his family's devastated after he was shot and killed at a party over the weekend. Jaylon McKenzie was hit by stray gunfire Saturday night in Venice, Illinois. That's right across the Mississippi River from St. Louis. He was leaving the party after a fight broke out. Police say they found McKenzie with serious wounds, and he died later on in a hospital.
Wow, look at those gunshot, man, wow. The bullet holes.
Died later on in a hospital. A 15-year-old girl at the party was critically wounded. So far, no arrests have been made. Now, McKenzie made national news last August when he caught 5 passes for 161 yards and 2 touchdowns at the NFL's 8th grade All-American game in Canton, Ohio.
That's sad, man. Wow. We got a few more videos to show you guys real quick. Let me say thank you for supporting the platform. That's Chevelle V2 in the chat. Said, just send it again since things seem to be better now. So shout out to you, man. Thank you very much for sending some love. He always sends something through, and I wanted to say thank you for that real quick while I saw it come through. Let me go ahead and move on to the next video. Again, when you guys come in, if you would, please click that thumbs up. Help us out just a little bit.
More tragedy, this time in the Metro East. An 8th grader shot and killed at a party last night. Our Jenna Barnes has been following this story all day, and Jenna spoke with his mom and coach.
And as you can imagine, Mike, they are both just devastated. Jaylon McKenzie was a superstar on the football field. He was only in the 8th grade, but he already had at least 2 college scholarship offers, and he was even featured in Sports Illustrated last year as one of the athletes who would dominate the headlines for decades to come.
He had dreams of making it in the NFL, and by all accounts, Jaylon McKenzie was well on his way. Named by Sports Illustrated as an athlete who will rule the future of sports, an 8th grader with college offers already on the table.
That is extraordinary. That's not a normal 8th grader. That is extraordinary, man. I hate that he never got an opportunity. This is just so sad.
Rule the future of sports. An 8th grader with college offers already on the table.
If he walked up here, he can't walk up here now, but if you were to be with him, you wouldn't know.
This is one of his coaches, from my understanding. I don't have his name at the moment, but from what I understand, this is one of his coaches.
College offers already on the table.
If he walked up here, he can't walk up here now, but if you were to be with him, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't have known that Sports Illustrated was covering him. You wouldn't have known that he had 2 offers from Illinois and Missouri, because that's just the smiling kid that he is, the jokester, the prankster.
For years, Al Lewis coached Jaylon in basketball, where he also shined.
You rarely hear about someone that great in both sports.
But Coach Lewis says Jaylon stood out even more when he wasn't playing.
Outside of basketball, outside of football, he was just a great kid.
His mom says he was like a magnet.
He didn't say much, but he just drew people to him with his smile, with his personality.
Jaylon was at a prom party in Venice, Illinois, Saturday night when
Somebody asked, where did he get his work ethic from? I have no idea. I mean, we haven't heard the mother speak a lot. We're going to hear from the coach, so maybe some of the coaches had something to do with it. But to be honest with you guys, this is kind of something that our people of our skin hue are really just good at excelling at things that are physical. It's really in our DNA, and that's not the... Because you guys know I'm not one of those kind of people, and I'm not no pro-black or nothing, but that's the truth of it. It's just in our DNA to just be good at sports and things that are physical. I mean, that's just the truth. When they talk about natural ability, natural talent, it's people that I've watched that have never played basketball that'll all of a sudden their last year in high school will start playing basketball for the first time and end up being NBA stars. You know, it just happens like that. Let's keep going, though.
Jaylon was at a prom party in Venice, Illinois, Saturday night when a fight broke out.
He was trying to leave, and he just got caught in the middle.
Jaylon's mom told us a stray bullet killed him.
My baby had just such a promising future, and for his life to just end in a senseless killing, you know, with someone else that had no regard for life. Just prayer. I mean, prayer is all I can really ask for right now.
Wow.
Illinois State Police say a 15-year-old girl was also shot at that party last night. She's in the hospital in critical condition. The East St. Louis School District says crisis teams will be in schools tomorrow to support students and staff.
Let me say this before we move on. I'm going to say to the people that were at that party and anybody that watches this video, somebody know which one of them kids or whoever was there that was shooting that gun, who got into a fight. Somebody knows something. Somebody got it on their phone recorded or some bull crap like that. We need to get justice for Jaylon McKenzie, and whoever did it needs to be held responsible. They have nobody arrested at this point. That is ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. Somebody needs to be held accountable for this.
A rising football star from the Metro East is shot and killed. Jaylon McKenzie was just 14 years old, and in that time span, he already received national attention for his football skills. 5 on Your Side's Justina Coronel spoke with Jaylon's parents today. Such a difficult time for them. Justina, how are they doing?
They are just trying to cope right now. I was with them for several hours today, and they're just really trying to figure out the plan right now, how they're going to deal the fact that he is no longer here. Jaylon McKenzie was killed Saturday night at a post-prom house party. We were told that a fight broke out, and Jaylon walked outside to leave the party when a stray bullet hit him. Now the family is trying to honor what they call their trophy child.
And that's sad. I just got done DJing a high school prom on Saturday that I had to go out of town for. I mean, when I went to prom, I went to 2 different proms when I was in high school. Matter of fact, you can say 3 because I went to my 8th grade prom. We had an 8th grade prom at my middle school. And this, you know, I mean, we went to some inner city schools. We had some hood schools, but we just didn't do stuff like that. You know, it's just, I don't know, man. It's crazy. And again, for you guys that are watching the show right now, share our stream and just click the thumbs up. It'll let other people know that we're live. So we're not going to take up too much of your time, but do click that thumbs up. Help us share this stream. Help us share the story of justice, for Jaylon McKenzie. Hashtag justice for Jaylon, man. For real. Let's get it.
This was the last jersey that he wore.
Humble, dedicated, loyal, respectful. These are the words that are used to describe Jaylon McKenzie.
If anybody knows Jaylon McKenzie, They know that Jaylen McKenzie was a jewel.
I'm going to point out something about his mom. His mom's name is Sakina Gunner. I want you guys to notice her voice. I want you guys to notice her voice. I hope the family gets a chance to watch this and understand. Maybe some relatives and people that know him can watch this also. When they talk about her son being soft-spoken, listen to his mom's voice. I have no doubt just from listening to his mom. She seems very sweet, very nice, and very soft-spoken. I want you guys to listen to her voice again. Very nice, very soft-spoken voice.
Respectful. These are the words that are used to describe Jaylon McKenzie.
If anybody know Jaylen McKenzie, they know that Jaylen McKenzie was a jewel.
Her voice is very easy to listen to, and I really hate that she has to go through this.
They know that Jaylen McKenzie was a jewel.
Jaylon's mom, Sakina Gunner, is shaken by the loss of her 14-year-old son. This rising star was a major athlete, playing basketball, track, and football.
As soon as he could talk, his first word was ball. He wanted a ball.
The first time he played football was 5 years old, and from there, Jaylon worked hard.
His work ethic was just off the charts. Anything that he wanted, he worked for it.
As you can see in this video, 10-year-old Jaylon is practicing in front of the mirror.
Each year, he got better. He sat down in the basement. He watched film. He watched his own film. He critiqued himself.
And his hard work landed him in the future issue of Sports Illustrated. This is the moment Gunner showed her son the magazine feature. While Five on Your Side was speaking to the family, ESPN was in the background when all of a sudden we hear this.
Look at Ian, look at.
Oh my God!
Jaylen McKenzie was 14 years old. We offer our sympathies to his family and all of those who loved him.
Oh, no way. Oh, my God. Do y'all see what just happened? No way. I'm going to back this up and let y'all watch this again. No way. Oh, my God. Watch this again, y'all.
While Five on Your Side was speaking to the family, ESPN was in the background when all of a sudden we hear this.
Wow. Listen, guys. Listen to this again. She's sitting there talking to the mom. Listen at this.
Look at Ian, look at.
Oh my God!
Jaylen McKenzie was 14 years old. We offer our sympathies to his family and all of those who loved him.
Jaylon isn't just making
Jesus Christ. Wow, man. Wow. No, that was not on purpose at all. I think they were there talking to a local news station, and ESPN showed that. That's crazy. That's amazing timing.
Look at.
You could tell like they had no idea.
Oh my God!
Jaylen McKenzie was 14 years old. We offer our sympathies to his family and all of those who loved him.
Jaylon isn't just making an impact on his family.
He just had that drive that we needed as a family. He pushed us along to do things that we never thought that we could do.
But to everyone he came across,
he was just a lovable kid. He was like a magnet, and I tell everybody this. He was like a magnet. He just drew everybody to him.
And he may have been quiet, but his legacy is louder than words.
I always thought that we would make an impact on the football field, but he's making an impact now.
His mama's voice is so easy to listen to, man. And that's a good thing because too many times, you hear our people speak, and a lot of times it makes you kind of look at us in a real kind of weird way. But, I got to just give his mom a shout out. Like, that's amazing. Like, just a very, very soft, nice spirit, if that makes sense.
Another teen, a 15-year-old girl, was also shot at the party. At last check, she was in critical condition, and there's no update from police on the search for the shooter. Jaylon recently received 2 scholarships, one from the University of Missouri and one from the University of Illinois. And his mother tells me that the biggest lesson that he taught her was how to live.
And to see all of his achievements at just 14 is amazing.
Crazy.
15 years old, right.
And he's making a bigger impact now off the field, just making a difference in everyone's lives. So,
right. Thank you, Justina.
Thank you.
A rising football.
And just to let you guys know, I tried to see if they put up a GoFundMe. They might not have even had time to do that. But I'm not going to lie to y'all. I've seen a lot of these parents, the second that they find out their kid has passed away, GoFundMes are up. But, you know, I looked and I don't see one up. So maybe in a few days, maybe some type of support link will pop up for them. And if it does, then maybe I can update our description box to show you guys a link where if anybody wants to contribute, then they can. But as of right now, I don't see anything coming up with me searching the internet. I want you guys to listen to his coach. We're going to wrap up here in a moment, okay? So for the last few people that are here, just click that thumbs up, share the story, share our stream, and let other people know that we're live. Again, for Jaylon McKenzie, 14 years old, 8th grader. Let's go ahead and play this video. This is his coach.
And outside of basketball, outside of football, he was just a great kid. I know that's cliche in these type of situations, but you won't find a kid or anyone saying anything negative about him. He was just great to be around, whether on the court or off the court.
What made him stand out?
Off the court, his ability to relate to everybody. Off the court or off the football field, you wouldn't have known he was a superstar. That's when you knew that, okay, this is a great kid here, because he treated everybody the same. You wouldn't, if he walked up here, he can't walk up here now, but if you were to be with him, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't have known that Sports Illustrated was covering him. You wouldn't have known that he had 2 offers from Illinois and Missouri, because that's just the smiling kid that he is, the jokester, the prankster that everyone, you know, grew to love outside of the sports.
So you know about his offers from Missouri and Illinois?
Yes.
I don't know a whole lot about sports, but for an 8th grader to have those kinds of offers, is that uncommon?
That's very uncommon. That just tells you that the level that he was going to be, that he had attained already, and what those coaches saw in him going forward in the future. No, it's hard and it's a struggle. Honestly, I'm still waiting to wake up from the dream, to be perfectly honest with you. It's a haze right now, and it's real foggy, and there's not a lot of understanding as to why. So just grappling with that right now is really hard. And just knowing the kid, you know, he spent so much time here with us. It's just rough, because he became a part of our family. You know, he was a part of our family, all of the boys' family. So if you were able to see that, all the support that we had at the hospital last night for his mom and dad, who are 2 great, outstanding parents, was just heartwarming, but hard in the same sense, because you knew that at that moment it was real.
Because everybody was gathered at the hospital.
Everybody was gathered at the hospital.
I mean, what do you guys do now? How do you remember him and move forward, but make sure the world knows what type of kid this was?
Honestly, as adults, we have to continue to set the example for the kids, just like his mom and dad did. Be there to comfort our kids, because they're not able to understand this right now. They can't rationalize what's happened. And going forward, just don't allow anybody to forget them. We have a season. We still have some tournaments that we have to continue to play. So just trying to focus on that and make sure that we do it for Jaylon.
People are asking, is this his father? No, this is his coach. That's why I asked, #where's the father? It's still really early, and I don't want the family to think that I'm trying to be disrespectful, but too many times, a lot of these kids don't have fathers in their life, and we just want to know where the father is, and if fatherlessness plays a role in a lot of these situations that surround these children. That's all we're asking. So, you know, we're always wondering, where are the black fathers in these black kids' lives? That's all we're asking.
Because that's what he would want. I know he would want the boys to continue playing. So just trying to convey that to them as we move forward, and also talked to a couple friends of mine. We have some things that we're going to try to do for Jaylen. We want to attempt to set up a scholarship fund for him in his name going forward that we'll hand out on a yearly basis. That way you'll continue to remember Jaylen, and they won't be able to forget him regardless because of the person, the kid that he was, and the man that he was going to become. And I just want to stress that forgetting the athlete, he was.
Okay, let's talk about this. People are talking about we need to do something about the guns in the streets. Vinny Watson, let me ask you a question. Are the guns doing bad things to people in the streets, or bad people in the streets doing bad things with guns? Because I want to make sure that we are speaking correctly about our Second Amendment rights to bear arms. My question again to Vinny, because I'm asking, because I'm not talking to you specifically, but I'm talking to a ton of people out there that would think the same thing that you're thinking, but a lot of people have those sentiments across the United States of America, period, and a lot of other places. So again, my question, Vinny, if you would, answer for me and let me know what you think. I know you're about 30 seconds behind actually watching me live. My question to you, are the guns in the street the problem, or are the people with the guns that are bad people the problem? Because what I want people to understand is the guns aren't doing a damn thing. It's just like cars aren't doing a thing. Knives aren't doing a thing. Explosives aren't doing a thing until somebody with those tools, and understand, like Relationship Rehab says, shout out to my brother Relationship Rehab on the United Guns of America channel. He said guns are a tool. Anything that you have could potentially be a weapon that could take someone's life. Anything can. I mean, people take crowbars all the time and end people's lives. Does that make we need to get rid of crowbars? Oh, no. I got you. I'm just speaking past what you've already said, but you already answered my question, so I got you. I'm not harping on you, but I'm just, yeah, exactly. I'm just talking about the people behind the guns. That's all. So just let you know we're on the same page. So, but I get what you're saying. If they didn't have access to these things, but understand the human nature that it doesn't matter what's in front of a person, they will always find a way to do something bad if that's what they want to do mentally. If they want to do something bad, if they want to kick somebody into a pool and drown them, if they want to run them over with a car, if they want to just take them by their bare hands and just choke somebody out. You know, so that's just something we got to think about. Guns are never the problem. People that make bad decisions are always the problem. So I just want to let you know, we're on the same page.
Just a great kid. You know, that's the thing that I can't stress enough that we keep talking about. Everybody gravitated to Jaylen, and like I said, you wouldn't know he was a superstar unless you saw him on the field. But he was a superstar in life, and somebody great that we're going to miss dearly.
Can you speak to the violence at just a kid's party?
Right. I mean, and he was trying to do the right thing. A fight broke out and he was trying to leave, and he just got caught in the middle. So I don't know. I think there's a lot of growing up within these communities that has to happen for both the adults and the kids, and someone's going to have to lead these kids, because whether it's a Jaylon McKenzie or someone that we don't even know, it's senseless killing, and these kids haven't even had the opportunity to start their life. So that's the main thing that we have to get out there. We have to start taking life as preciously as it is.
No doubt.
And outside of basketball, outside of football.
All right, let me go ahead and show you guys the last video. This is a little bit more from his mom, and then we're going to go ahead and wrap up. And I thank everybody that showed up. We're about to wrap up here in just a moment.
Because everything that he was taught, he used it, and he got better and better and better. And his dream was just to walk across that stage. And they call his name Jaylon McKenzie. You're drafted by whoever it was.
I could sit and listen to his mom all day. Her voice is so nice. It really is.
He didn't care the team. He just wanted to share his talents with the world through football. He loved basketball, but I think football was where It was, even when Sports Illustrated called me out the blue.
Look at it. Look at.
Oh my God! I'm like chills. I know.
Oh.
Literally, in Sports Illustrated's Future issue last fall as one of 6 teenagers who would rule the future in sports. He told the magazine his dream was to make the NFL. A teenage girl was also shot at the party and is reportedly in critical condition. Police are investigating. No arrests have been made. Jaylon McKenzie was 14 years old.
As soon as he could talk, his first word was ball. He wanted a ball. Anytime we went to the grocery store, Walmart, Target, anywhere that sold balls, that was the first thing he did was picked up a ball. Sometimes he'd throw it, bounce it around. Sometimes my husband would come home, he's so tired coming from work, but he's like, let's go play catch. So he'll say, okay, give me a minute, just let me sit down for a minute, take my shoes off, and we'll go. They'll go in the backyard, and they'll play catch. And he always played with the older kids in the neighborhood. And everybody wanted Jaylon on their team. No matter that he was 5, 6, 7, they wanted him on their team. It could be 7 other people that's their age standing on the sideline when they're picking their team. But most people would pick Jaylon
What do you think it was? His all the features, like fast, or dedicated, or what do you think was it?
He was just a lovable kid. He was like a magnet, and I tell everybody this. He was like a magnet. He just drew everybody to him, and like he was a special talent. He was a different kid, but he wasn't boisterous about it. You know, he knew that he had that gift, but he didn't think that he was better than you. So it was just the way that he carried himself and the way that he participated and the way that, you know, when he was picked, he was going to give 110%. No matter if it was a full-fledged game or no matter what, if it was on the playground. He played basketball for Central, and, you know, a lot of the players didn't have, you know, the skill set that he had, but you wouldn't know that because he was a passer. You know, he wanted to get everybody involved in the game and wanted to show everybody's talents through his talent. So Jay was my baby. He was a special, special, special baby. Just truthfully, he stuck out on any team. And that didn't matter because even though he stuck out on that team, he wanted to stick with that team. He was dedicated. He was loyal. And
loyalty is priceless. Love it, love it, love it. I'm telling you guys, man, tell me what y'all think about her voice. I love listening to her talk, especially talk about her son, man. I hate that this happened. Yeah, she is very classy. And yeah, man, coach classy. Her son was, hey, what's going on, relationship rehab? I was just giving you a shout out just a minute ago. And I was telling them about a quote that you said on United Guns of America where you said that guns are a tool. And it's not the guns that are bad, it's the people that do bad things with guns that are bad. So, but yeah, man, shout out to you, bro.
He didn't want to leave his friends. Like, other teams called. We want Jaylon on that team. It may have been a better team, but that didn't matter. He wanted to stay with the people that he started with. And he wanted to share that with his teammates. Special kid. Special. My baby taught me to live. Live. Whatever you do, just live. I always thought that we would make an impact on the football field and in the NFL. But he's making an impact now. So it's very hard to just accept that he's no longer.
I agree, Lady B. She is very calm, very, very calm. And y'all talk about strong. I don't think strong has to be loud and boisterous and obnoxious. To all my sisters out there, this is one example of strength right here. able to hold it together, be composed, speak very clearly, very concise, speaking in the midst, in a very short time, about a tragedy that happened to her youngest kid, and speak with so much love and speak so gently and so easily. I love listening to this. Let me say thank you to my sister Michelle in the chat, who also sent some love by way of the donation links in the chat for supporting our platform. So I want to say thank you to you, and thank you to Chevelle in the chat also.
But he's making an impact now. So it's very hard to just accept that he's no longer with us. But he left a lasting impression on everyone. He passed away on my mom's birthday.
Wow. She said he passed away on her mom's birthday. Gee whiz. Wow. Golly, man. I don't know what to say. I'm going to just let it finish playing.
That he's no longer with us. But he left a lasting impression on everyone. He passed away on my mom's birthday. So she's having a hard time. He was our trophy child in our family. And not that because we thought he was going to the NFL, but he just had that drive that we needed as a family. He pushed us along to do things that we never thought that we could do. Because
shout out to the mom. Boy, you talking about, I don't know anything about this woman, but I love everything that I heard from her, how she represented herself, how she represented her family, and more importantly, how she represented her son's legacy. And guys, I gotta tell you, man, I could see how a person could get lost for words with a story like this. I could see how a person could just be overwhelmed and not even know this young man. And I got to tell you, I had no idea really the level of impact that this young man probably, ingratiated with onto everybody. But you can clearly tell just by listening to his mom how special he was, listening to how everybody talked about him, from you can see other articles out there, the school, you're talking about state representatives, you're talking about the NFL, you're talking about the colleges. There's a lot of things that you can look up on this young man, and it's a shame that our brightest are cut down by the most senseless things you can imagine. I'm going to say this, and I believe that he was probably cut down by somebody that probably looks just like him. Why? Because that's what the statistics say. What's going on to Storm Monroe? He runs a show on the Voltron Network. Let me go ahead and add him and show him some love. And I appreciate you showing up in the chat, bro. Definitely appreciate you checking us out here on this particular channel. You know, we advocate for children first here on the Soto Podcast. So I want to say thank you for showing up. But y'all make sure and check him out. Runs a pretty good show that you guys need to check out, right? But again, there's no reason. Everybody should know who got into that fight, who shot, who's involved. Somebody should have seen something and said something. Somebody was going live. Somebody was recording. Somebody knows something. And somebody needs to step up and do the right thing and speak out. Reach out even if you have to anonymously. I hope that this one little video of mine, I'm relatively a small YouTuber on the internet, but I hope that somebody sees this video and steps up and has the balls to say no more. This has got to stop. There's no way, and I'm going to tell you guys this, there is no way the black community can ever be anything worthwhile if we continue to cut down our brightest, and our best. I want you guys to think about that. I'm going to say that before I close out. It is impossible for the black community to ever be anything worthwhile if we continue to not separate ourselves, if we continue to converse and continue to combine and continue to not separate ourselves from the trash of our community. That is doing us the biggest disservice by the fact that we have the greatest disproportion of race of our people in jail, usually the males, going straight from school, straight to prison. For what? It's not for lack of opportunity. It's not for lack of education. It's not for lack of anything other than the fact that a lot of these kids don't see any value in themselves, because when they are in the homes with no father in the homes, they don't see any value in themselves because they don't know where they come from. They don't know where their other half is, and they can't aspire to be anything that they don't see right in front of their face. They should see a person that looks just like them, and they say, I want to be like that man. I want to be like my dad. I want to be somebody, and I want to be somebody that people respect in this world. They don't have that. So not only do they not have respect for themselves, they don't have respect where they came from. They're not going to have respect for their household. And those internal problems inside the household are going to manifest themselves out into the world. Then those problems that were now just a household problem are going to be a problem for the rest of society. That is why the world views us as something that is not positive. We are not looked at as positive, and that has nothing to do with how the news is portraying us. Because guess what? If we didn't give them anything to portray, there'd be no narrative. Let's say that again before we wrap up. If there were nothing to portray, there would be no narrative. It would be null and void. Somebody knows what happened to this man, to this young man. And I'll be damned, somebody emailed me a name, something, a picture, a photo, a video, something. If you're scared to turn them in, I'll turn they black asses in. I'll do it. Somebody speak up, step up. You saw something, say something. We have to stop this. We got to get better, and this type of thing has to stop. I want to say again, shout out to the mother, Sakina Gunner. If he has a father out there, I sure would love to see it come out somewhere at some point and maybe hear about him speak about his son. To Illinois State Police, like I say, I hope that you guys are on y'all job. I want to make sure that these crimes, they have to start getting solved. You can't just keep having all these freaking crimes and they not be solved, right? So anyway, man, thank you guys so much. Prayer hands up for this young man. Again, this is Jaylon McKenzie, 14 years old, had a lot of promise, cut down short for no freaking reason. This is your boy DJ Just Jay. I'm signing out. Thank you guys for listening. That's the end of the stream.